Okay, hi everybody. It's been a couple of weeks since I made a video. Let me just straighten up myself. Okay, today I'm going to make 2 batches of soap. I'm going to make cracked coconut and I'm going to make a florist shop scent which smells just like walking into a florist. So you know you get that smell. It's not quite flowers and it's not quite soil and it's not just leaves. It's like that green, fresh, beautiful smell. It smells just like that, so I'm going to make that. It's kind of similar to like a cut grass kind of smell, but not quite the same. So that's what I'm going to do today. So the first one I'm going to do is the coconut one, which is just a plain white bar. And I'm just going to bring you in to show you my ingredients as I'm just about to melt them down. So I do my solid oils in the microwave with my cocoa butter, and then I add my liquid oils to that cold, so it helps speed up the cooling down of my oils before I make my soap. So I'll bring you in and show you that. Okay, so in my bowl I've got my solid oils and my cocoa butter just resting on the top there. I'm going to microwave this all together. So this is for 2 batches in here and this is for 1 batch, and I've got those weighed out separately. So in here I've got sustainable palm oil, I've got coconut oil and cocoa butter, and then in here I've got sunflower oil and olive oil, and that's weighed out ready for 1 batch. And I've got another one behind me for the 2nd batch, and then I'm going to use some titanium dioxide, which is here, and then my fragrance. There's my coconut fragrance, so I'm just going to put that to the side, and I'm going to melt down these oils. And just a little thing I realised the other day, I was making a soap, and normally with titanium dioxide you would dilute it in, not dilute it, but put it in some water so that it disperses through the soap. Some people use oil, some people use glycerin, some people use water, and I've always been water. I've always used water. But the other day I was making my batches, like 5 batches in a row, and I got to a soap and I'd forgotten to put any water in the titanium dioxide, so I just sort of plopped it into the soap, and then I thought, oh damn, I've forgotten the water. So I was thinking I was going to get all bits, but what actually happens is it just dispersed by itself. So I did it for the next few batches as well, so it kind of blew the myth that you need to sort of disperse titanium dioxide in water. So I'm going to show you if it works again. I hope it will, because this is just going to be a white soap, so I'm just going to add this to the soap and we'll see what happens. Sometimes I'll add it to the oils that I'm using before I add the lye, but the other day I'd already added the lye, threw in this, and it just dispersed, and I was like, oh, but I've never done that before. In all the years I've made soap, I've always known to disperse it in water or oil. Oh my god, I'm rambling. Anyway, I'm going to show you and hopefully it works again. So that's my colorant. So I'm just going to melt down these oils and I'll be back for the making. Okay, so I'm ready to pour in my liquid oils into my melted solid oils. So in they go. My ratio on my recipe, I use around 60% solid oils and around 40% liquid oils. My super fat is the soap kelp default of 5%, and then I add in a further 2% using cocoa butter. Okay, so there's my oils. Just get my goggles and put my lye in there. Let me just wipe these off. And then we'll add the fragrance, spin it up a bit, and then I'll add that titanium dioxide and I'll show you. Hopefully it'll work. Okay, so in goes my lye. Actually, leave that there so I've got something to put my stuff in. So I'm just going to quickly stick blend that a second. Okay, what I'll do actually is add the titanium dioxide now. So in this, I'm going to do 1, 2, this is teaspoons on the end of my little scoop, 3, 4, quite a bit because this is just a white soap, 5, 6, so I'm using about 30 grams of white. Okay, so what? Yes, worked again. So there you go. No water in my TD. That's crazy. I wonder if it's made a difference because of the water discount. Anybody that's scientifically minded, leave me a comment and tell me what you think, because that's just nuts. Like, honest to God, I've been making soap since 2006 and I've always used water or oil to disperse it, and I just can't believe it. Smooth and as creamy as anything. So I'm going to add my fragrance. I think I might do this like a part 1 and a part 2, so I can make the florist shop or the florist next, and I'll show you my colours as like I've just done with this one. Otherwise it's going to be a bit of a messy video, so I might just do 2 videos, but I'm just showing you that I'm back to back soaping just to do 2 batches. If I do say 5 batches, then I'll use my stove top and I'll put all my base oils, like my solid base oils, together in a big pot, and I'll melt those down and use the same process. You just weigh out what you need from, you know, what you need. I want this to be pretty thick when I pour, because I don't want to wait too long before I do the textured top, so I really want this to just be ready to go. So I'm just going to turn you off and come back when I'm ready to pour it, because this is going to take a bit of mixing. Okay, I'm just going to pour this. This isn't my favourite bowl to make soap in because the spout is like rounded off, so it's not actually very good. It's great for mixing, but it's not great for pouring. So just a plain white soap. I haven't made soap for a couple of weeks. I've been doing other things, so I've really missed it actually. Which is kind of why I haven't made any videos, because I haven't really made any, well, I haven't made any soap, not for a couple of weeks. So, you know, other things I've been doing are whip soaps. I've been making the base. I've been packing loads of orders to get them out of the way so I can just concentrate on production for summer. And yesterday I had to take the day off because we had the energy company come to install a smart meter, which was such a pain in the bum. It was supposed to be a 2-hour or an hour job, and it turned into a 3-hour job. So me and Bridie, the dog, were sat at home. Oh, this guy had a nightmare, something wrong with the fuse box, so we had to call out another company, the other power company, to come and change the fuse box, because from his company they weren't allowed to do it. So we were sat without any internet. I couldn't even make a cup of tea. I couldn't do really anything. I did have a bit of battery power left on my laptop, so I did a few files for my, like we have to upload all our files to this portal in the EU. So I did that yesterday, just getting my files prepared for the new soaps I'd made. Oh my God. And this kid, he was driving him insane, I think. But yeah, what a pain in the bum. But it's done now. Done and dusted. So I had to take the day off. I couldn't come into work. I was planning to come in the afternoon, but I couldn't do that. So I'd lost a day, and I already don't work Mondays because I have to go to the pottery where Matt works and I do his bookkeeping for him. So let's just chit chat while I wait for this to set up. So yeah, Mondays I have to take the day off and go to Winchcombe, which is 8 miles over the hill, go and do Matt's bookkeeping, and then I come home and I try to get the shopping done, but I always think, oh, I'll have the afternoon off on a Monday and get a few things done, go and do some shopping, like food shopping, and then it never goes to plan, and I never get an afternoon to myself. Right, are you ready? You're kind of ready. That's not ready. Okay, I'm going to pause you and come back because that's not quite ready. Okay, I'm just going to texture the top of this. I've done it a little bit, but I want it just going to bring this one side over. I don't want the other side done. I'm going to leave it. So I just want this kind of a look. Perfect texturing consistency there. Alright, so there is cracked coconut, and I'm going to move on to the next soap, so see me for part 2. Alright guys, see you in a bit. See you in a bit. Hi everyone, we're going to cut coconut soap. So, I was able to upload my video from yesterday of this one. It came out right nice. It's really lovely, and it's, yeah, even lovely and hard today. Oh God, it's the wrong thing to say. I'm just going to unmould these little tiddlers. So I've got some little things. I like put these on the side in my shop in a great big bowl, and then I let people fill a bag of samples and bits and pieces for £6 a bag. So that's a really good idea for all your leftover bits if you've got a shop. If you don't have a shop, then if you have an online shop, you could do it that way too. People often ask, what do you do with all these bits? I mean, most of mine go into orders, but sometimes, let me just sip coffee because I'm gagging for this. Oh, my precious. I don't know what I was thinking. I'm PMSing, so whatever. Okay, let me unmould this beauty. And we'll see what we got. It's going to be really interesting being a plain white soap. So, let's get you unmolded. I'm loving my new liners. I put links in the video with this. I put the link for these liners from eBay in the description bar, and I'll try and remember to do it for every video. There's a thing I can do to set it to do the same links every time, and I just need to change it up and put these links for these new moulds in there, because I get asked a lot where I get moulds from, so most of them are eBay or Etsy. And then I make my own wooden moulds out of whatever I've got lying around, usually old shelves, bits of pine board and things like that. Okay, let me just sip again. So I've been listening to this podcast, Let's Have a Little Chat, this morning. I've got to go soon, I can't be here too long, okay? Because I'm going with Matt to pottery quickly. He needs to go and turn some tea bowls I've been working on, so I'm going to go there, and I might actually have a go at making some pots while he's doing that. So, this podcast I've been listening to was a recommendation by Jen ASMR. She's a girl that I watch do these relaxation videos, and she mentioned in an old video a podcast called Best Case, Worst Case, and I've been listening to this. It's an ex-FBI profiler called Jim Clemente and an ex-federal state prosecutor called Francie Hakes. You may have heard of these people if you watch true crime and stuff like that. So they do this podcast and they interview like cops and FBI agents and all kinds of different people. And they ask them what was their best case or their worst case. And each podcast is each episode is someone else's experience. So some of them are really horrific, and some of them you won't want to listen to. There's one in particular, number 48. It really did my head in, so I would suggest not listening to that. Anyway, is our white bar. I'm just going to stream through these. But yeah, this podcast is so good. It's a real insight into what these people really have to go through with their jobs, and it's just, you know what I'm like for these sorts of things. But I'm just interested. I'm not sick because I listen to murder investigations, or I watch murder investigations, there are millions of me on the planet. I get some comments sometimes from people and they're so rude that it's like, how can you leave comments like that to a person you've been watching or listening to? You know what I mean? Sometimes I just think, God, what the hell do you think I am? I'm a bloody soap maker. But I just happen to like listening to something that's so far removed from what I do for a living. And I'm just interested. I'm just interested because that's something that you would never know about unless you read about it, watched it. If it's not for you, then fair enough. But there's a hell of a lot of us that like to listen to it and like are interested. I think that the FBI profilers are really interesting because they have to build a criminal profile with just a little bit of evidence that they're given about, you know, it could be a serial killer, it could be a rapist, it could, I mean, this is gross, but, you know, all these people, they, you know, there's clues given to these FBI agents and or profilers, and they've got to just go off a few clues. They've got no picture, they've got nothing on the person's background, nothing. And their ability to build a profile and actually catch a killer, to me, that is just like the level of intelligence there and the level of want to catch a killer is just, you know, we need these people in our lives. And that's why I like listening to what they do, because it's very, very interesting. They're putting their whole lives on the line to keep people safe. And it's very interesting. You know, some people, they like to believe that that the world's a lovely, wonderful place. It is, but it's not in some cases, because these things happen. It's like you can't turn a blind eye. It happens. And I'm just interested. Listen to me rambling about it. It's just, it really gets me when people, you know, try and have a pop at me because I listen to it or I watch it. I know there's a lot of people going to be in the comment section like, I'm the same. And I've had that before, so hey. But the people who think I'm weird because I listen to it, it's like, you're weird for saying something like that. Like, this is just, it's not weird, it's interesting to me, okay? So last night's podcast I was listening to last night's episode rather, was worst case scenario that O.J. Simpson lost confession. And I haven't watched all of it yet, but it is on YouTube. There's an hour and a half. The documentary is an hour and a half long, and it's OJ basically, hypothetically confessing to the murders. I mean, it's, you know, in my opinion, it's kind of obvious that the guy is a true narcissist. And Jim Clemente and Francie Hakes on this podcast put a really good, you know, their ideas about who OJ is and why he acted like he did and the things that he did. It's like you kind of get a better grasp on it, and there's no doubt in my mind after listening to them that he did. I mean, there wasn't any doubt in my mind anyway. I believe he was guilty. Just because of his actions and the way that he's laughing in this interview. It's not normal, you know, it's just not normal. But yeah, listen to this podcast. I'll leave a link down below. I'm a Android person, so you have to listen to it through the website called Wondery, but there's an Apple, I don't know if it's an app or what, but if you're on Apple I think it's easier to listen to. So that's what I've been listening to when I've got quiet days at work, and I'm just going to do a bit of playing now. So yeah, if I'm not making a lot of noise in here, if I'm just packing orders, then that's usually the time I listen to podcasts, because otherwise there's like machinery in here going around. Like if I'm whipping up stuff, there's too much noise. So I like it when I've got orders to pack and I just have a really good listen, and hours can go by and I don't realise the day's gone, you know? So yeah, best case, worst case, it's really, really good and well worth a listen if you're that way inclined. If you're not, I don't know what else to watch. If there's any more that you've been watching, then leave me some comments down below. And there's a lot of stuff on Netflix that I still haven't watched from suggestions from before, so I will go back through my old video where you've left me loads of suggestions, because there's so many that I haven't watched. I get caught up in something else and then that's that. Okay, cracked coconut's cut. There we go. It's a lovely white creamy bar, and like I say, no speckling from the titanium dioxide. That was what we were getting at. with this video. So there you go. Just have a go. I think it might matter about the quality of your titanium dioxide might matter, because there's different, I don't know about different grades, but I have had different types, and the one that I've got at the moment is actually from a pottery supplier in the UK, and they're called Bath Potters, and yeah, I've been buying from them for a long time because it's just exactly the same. They do oxides and things like that as well, so I buy them from there because the soap making suppliers charge way over the odds for colourants like that, when they're just like 10 a penny, you know, they're really cheap. So I go to like, yeah, Bath Pottery Supplies because they are cheap, quick delivery, and the product is really, really good quality. Excuse me. So yeah, Bath Potters is where I get my titanium dioxide. If anybody in the UK is watching, try them and try it without water and see how you get on and let me know. But I would also suggest doing the water discount as well, because it seems to, well, I don't know if it makes a difference or not. I should maybe do a trial and use a full water and then try it that way and see what happens. I've got a feeling it might be different, but only trial and error will show us that, won't it? I'm just making some little balls. My balls. Okay, so I'm going to go and I will see you for the next video, and I don't know what I'm making next. I've got loads of fragrances to use up, so I'm really enjoying using these moulds because they're quick batches, and yeah, it means you have lots of different ones on display. So I will see you again soon. See ya.